Hello, I'm Adam, your ho-oh-oh of BlampCo Incorporated, promoting seasons beating since 2015, and it's the end of the year, which means I'm about to be asked two questions by my parents. What do you want for Christmas? And why haven't you given us a grandchild yet? And the answer to both those questions is board games! Personally, it's been a lovely year. I saw friends of mine do well personally and professionally. BlampCo has been going for almost a full calendar year, and it's been one of the most creatively fulfilling years of my life. I hope 2025 has gone well for you, but even if it could have gone better, get yourself an excellent board game for this Christmas to give yourself something to look forward to in 2026. So in time for Santa season, I've put together a little shopping list for you, a summary of all the best cardboard gems that have hit our shelves, hit our tables, and been flipped over in sheer unadulterated rage this year. I'm Adam from BlampCo Incorporated, and here are my 10 favorite board games of 2025. And hey look, I know people are gift hunting right now, so I'd be a bit dumb if I didn't mention that BlampCo has a range of merchandise, like this t-shirt. We're doing a 10% off promotion for next week because this is the last week you can basically order and get it in time for Christmas. Do you know someone who likes me? Or do you just want to confuse your nan? Then head over to BlampCo.com. We've got t-shirts, we've got mugs, we got stickers, we got a bunch of brand new stuff that's just dropped that you can't possibly live without. On with the list. Number 10, Deep Regrets. If I had a nickel every time I've played a Cthulhu fishing game, I'd have 10 cents, but it's fun that it's happened twice. A few years after video game Dredge, out came board game Deep Regrets, an engine building game about fishing for increasingly eldritch monster fish, and it's great fun. Not so much because I like engine builders, they're fine, but because unlike Dredge, which skews more towards straight horror, Deep Regrets is a laugh with an art style that perfectly balances humor and horror. One of my favorite gaming experiences of the year has been everyone in this room crowding around Deep Regrets cards, laughing themselves silly at the revolting bastards beneath the waves. One of the fish you can catch is a human. Everyone plays a fisherman or a fishyman, rolls dice, spends dice to haul little fishos from the depths. They buy new equipment, maybe more dice so they can haul abject monstrosities from the deeper depths. At the end of the game, you'll be mounting your 3 favorites on your wall, and all of this flavor, as well as lovely production values, makes this a bizarre little twist on a tried and true genre. Also, it is the only game this year to have actually given me nightmares. So that's something. Number 9, Toy Battle. Before I start this entry, I would like to read the following prepared statement from Terry Lamangi. Adam has never beaten me at Toy Battle, and that is why it's so low down on this list. Also, he's a little soft bitch. She'll be hearing from our lawyers about that, but Toy Battle is a brilliant little tug of war game. Players sit across from each other over a battlefield. On their turn, they have a choice. They can either draw 2 troop tiles at random or deploy one of them to the battlefield. Each tile is a little toy, rising in strength from duck to 7. That's a weird sentence. And you can cover your opponent's tiles with ones of your own if they have a higher strength, creating these lovely little columns of contention. There are 2 ways to win. Either you make one unbroken line of your troops from your side of the board to your opponent's, or you surround an area of the map with just your troops, which gets you all the medals in the middle of that area, and the first to get to 7 medals also wins that way. It is a brilliant, quick, addictive little knife fight in a phone booth, but all the knives are made of Buzz Lightyears. And for some reason, I can't beat Terry at this fucking game! Number 8, The Lord of the Rings, The Fate of the Fellowship. Pandemic has been around for almost 20 years now, re-emerging in a slightly different form every so often, like the seasonal flu. They've had the legacy version of Pandemic, the Cthulhu version, the Ancient Rome version, the Star Wars version, the real-life version in 2020, which was a bold marketing stunt, and now Lord of the Rings Pandemic, Fate of the Fellowship, which, you know, considering the average board gamer and what the average board gamer enjoys, feels like a perfect Venn diagram of game and theme. Players take on characters from the book, like Gandalf, Frodo with his wet, useless face, and they must all work together to complete objectives that bung the ring in the big hot hill before soft boy Baggins pisses himself to death. There is a lot for Rings fans here, a lovely map of Middle-earth, Nazgul that hover over the board, the best dice tower in board gaming right now, because bloody hell, look at it. There's almost too much stuff. Like, it's a crowded board with all the battle lines and everything just kind of on top of each other. But the modular nature of the different objectives to complete and a slightly kicked up complexity means it's probably the most replayable Pandemic ever until, you know, the next one. James Bond Pandemic, please. Number 7, Silos. Oh, this game is silly. Bitewing Games have been publishing a whole bunch of games recently from Rainer Knizia, a man who has designed in his life over 700 games. Also, look at that bow tie. The world is a better place because of this man. Silos is an area control alien abduction game where players compete to see who can beam up the most humans, or, because they're a lot better than humans, cows. As a Jerseyman, this game speaks to me. The theming is a lot of fun. The little cows, the aliens trying to blend into our world. The fact that you can give your most valuable alien a little cowboy hat. Yeah, that is my kind of silly business. But the game has a really fun central mechanism, which is that most of what you'll be doing on your turn is actually dictated by a random draw from the deck. You can move your aliens around to mitigate against that luck a little bit, but often what will happen on your turn could be the opposite of what you wanted. And that is very silly. You turn over the top card of the action deck and you just do what it says. But as the deck gets depleted, you can actually count out what cards are left in it. So the ability to program more effectively increases as the game goes on and things get more high stakes, which is a lovely little in-game journey. It's just really fun. It's got moos in it. It's got wee moos. Number 6, Iliad, another game from Bitewing and another game from Rainer Knizia, who is a certified G and a bona fide stud. Iliad is my favorite 2-player game of this year. It's red versus blue on a 6x6 grid. At either end of each row and column are 2 tokens. Once a row is completely filled with player tokens, whoever has the most points in that row, they get to pick which token from that row they want to keep and which token from that row they want to give to their opponent. When the grid is complete, if you have at least 1 token from all 5 of the different gods, then you win. However, if both of you have done that, or if neither of you have done that, it comes down to who's got the most points. It is pick your battles, the board game. Some rows you won't care about at all. Some rows are the difference between winning and losing. And sometimes what's useful to you changes mid-game. It is a beautifully involving and evolving puzzle that's over quick enough for you to demand a rematch, only for Terry to beat me again. Adam has never beaten me at Iliad. Has he even played a board game? Il est bête comme ses pieds. Number 5, Critter Kitchen. Do not be misled by the Zootopia Overcooked vibes of this box. This game is fucking mean. It is almost too mean for me, and I would kick your child fully over for fun and profit. In Critter Kitchen, you're all chefs with names like Anthony Bourdain and Julia Wild. And I like that. Each round, you're just trying to buy ingredients to put on your plate, win challenges, and also save up the very best ingredients to impress a big ratatouille food critic at the very end. You've got 3 chefs, a big chef, a medium chef, and a little chef, and you send them out to various locations on the board to get the shopping. Little chef can only carry 1 ingredient, medium grabs 2, and big can grab 3. But here's the horrible little twist that makes Critter Kitchen so great. Everyone chooses and reveals where they're sending their chefs at the same time. And if chefs ever go to the same place, the little ones take before the medium ones take before the big ones, meaning sometimes you waste your big guy going to a place and they walk home with nothing. If a place has 3 ingredients you need, the only place to guarantee you will walk away with something is to send the guy who can't carry them all. And that is such a fun and smart and risk-rewardy, occasionally maddening, but occasionally glorious little decision space. Also, Anthony Bourdain, it's fucking chef's kiss, I guess. Number 4, The Dark Quarter. A while ago, Lucky Duck made Destinies, an almost brilliant game that combined open world exploration with skill tests and characters living out unique stories that unfolded via an app. However, that game was crippled by the fact it was competitive, meaning the winner got to finish their story, Cody Rhodes style, and everyone else was left with an incomplete third act, and that was hugely fucking unsatisfying. The Dark Quarter, which Lucky Duck have made with Van Ryder Games, fixes all of that by making it cooperative, creating essentially Detective City of Angels via Mansions of Madness set in supernatural New Orleans. And if you were trying to make a game specifically for me, it would look like that. You each control noir-drenched characters, one of whom's an actual vampire, move around a map, finding new locations, story moments that are specific to your character, items with QR codes you can scan, upgrading your character's stats with cubes, rolling for tests. The actual game elements are light, too light for some. App stuff, roll some dice, more app stuff. But if you know how I like to play app games, and there's a video you really should watch on our channel if you don't, and it might make sense why I've been having a lot of fun with Dark Quarter lately. Number 3, Magical Athlete. Hot take, we talk too much about how clever good games are and not nearly enough about how stupid good games are. This year, CMYK Games released 2 racing games which are both brilliant and also 2 of the stupidest goddamn games I have ever played. The first, Hot Streak, which would be number 11 on this list if I had a number 11, is about mascots tripping and falling over each other in a foot race. The second, Magical Athlete, a remake of a 20-year-old game, is about bizarre cartoon monstrosities tripping and falling over each other in a foot race. But while Hot Streak is a betting and programming game, Magical Athlete is a goddamn roll and move. It's essentially snakes and ladders, and every cell of my body screams that I should hate that, but I don't. I love it because there are so many races, each one with a superpower that breaks the game, and damn it all, if Cosmic Encounter Snakes and Ladders doesn't just work, with all the races tripping each other over, latching onto each other, warping to each other, eating each other in a maelstrom of wonderful nonsense, and it's simple enough to play with anyone from age 5 to 105. We need more nonsense in this hobby. Please and thank you. Number 2, The Old King's Crown. By this point in the list, you'll know that I consider the sweetest point in board gaming to be the intersection of high risk and high reward. As such, I love a blind betting game, throwing a card down, hoping it'll be good enough, coming up with a sequence that wins big or fails big, and mostly that second one. The Old King's Crown does all of that, has asymmetric factions, lots of little tricks that only reveal themselves on the second and third playthroughs, and a theme of secret societies being wangs to each other for power and glory. I love all of that, but that's not why this game is number 2 on this list. It's because The Old King's Crown has the greatest art in board games. Not in board games from this year, board games. I do mean this. I know this is the main hype surrounding the game right now, that it is beautiful, and I'd like to have something smarter to say than holding the cards in my hands makes me happy, but no, that really is it. Some of these cards you just lose yourself in. The detailed penciling reminding me of all my favorite graphic novels, the coloring, how evocative and cool they are, like the concepts behind some of these cards. All the art in this game was done by one man, Pablo Clark, the man who also designed this game. The man who also designed this as his first game. That's not fair. Fuck you, Pablo Clark, and thank you very much for making The Old King's Crown. It's just so beautiful. And number 1, Nemesis Retaliation. In the original Nemesis, the best adaptation of Alien that isn't legally allowed to be called Alien, you weren't prepared for the intruders and spent the game creeping around your ship, avoiding the nasties as much as possible. In Nemesis Retaliation, the best adaptation of Aliens that isn't legally allowed to be called Aliens, you know what you're up against, and this time you brought the big fucking guns. This game, and I know I can't really pull this off, but I'm gonna say it anyway, rips. You race around the map, uncovering it as you go, giving the game a really cool footprint on the table. And honestly, you need to squad up and commit to violence, because any attempt to play this game like normal Nemesis will result in you being surrounded and everything will suddenly get tremendously terrible. It is a proper different feeling sequel while still feeling like Nemesis, which brings us to the core of the Nemesis system, the paranoia that your friends might actually be out to get you this whole time. That is present and correct here too, and in a way that's more, if anything, heartbreaking, because the sheer tonnage of alien encounters in this game means that you need each other more than ever, not just for boom booms, but also to locate and turn on the life support systems so you don't all suffocate. More than ever, you are forced to put your lives in the hands of fellow players and trust that they won't clench their fists. It's a cruel murderous, challenging to the point of demented game, and sometimes it feels outright unfair. But therein lies the precious emergent storytelling that means so much to me as a board gamer. The arguments I have seen around this table, the moments of betrayal. Playing Nemesis Retaliation, you will have a memorable time, one way or another, and that is the mark of board gaming genius. There we are. Those are my top 10 board games of 2025. Apologies that not all of them are available in retail right this second. Most of them are, and all of them will be eventually, but please do let me know what your favorite new game of this year has been. I really want to read all about them in the comments. I need more, you see. I need more. I hope you pick up a really good board game this holiday season. Here's to 2026, and until next time, happy holidays. And in true Christmas Carol fashion, get back to work.